Welcome to Crypto Talk Radio, the podcast for everyday investors like you. Visit us on the web at cryptotalkradio.net. And now, here's your host, Leister.
Thank you for that, Bailey, and welcome everybody out there in Crypto Talk Radio, found at cryptotalkradio.net. The winter storm is upon us. We are surrounded by snow, ice, and cold. There are people who do not do well in the cold. And I feel for those people, especially now. I don't want anyone to get trapped out. Be careful. Bundle up, because they're talking about frostbite just for being out there for 30 seconds, which is pretty brutal. But also breathing gets harder. If you didn't know that, when it's extreme cold, your breathing gets really much more difficult. So just bundle up. Be careful. It's a challenging bit of business out there right now. I am dealing with I actually had a very... I don't know, this place, it pisses me off. And you might be wondering, didn't you just get there? I did. I've been here just shy of a year officially. So it's a long story, but the suffice is that in 2023, early 2023, I had accumulated enough money to eventually get out of where I was and come up to where I'm now. That was the plan. And I had ordered a car from Carvana. And this is my Carvana rant. It's water under the bridge, but I think I'll warn other people away from those jack-offs. So I ordered a car from Carvana. It was an SUV. It was a Cadillac something or other. Okay? Cash. Pay cash. So I paid full cash. Said, okay, it's going to be shipped up from Arizona. No problem. They said, it's coming, it's on its way, it's almost here. And then literally the day of, when it's supposed to be delivered, I get a call from the delivery driver. It's a gal. And she's like, well, the car's got a check engine light, so I'm not comfortable delivering it in this condition. So I'm saying, okay, well, take it to Joe, the technician, down at the whatever the F, and get it checked out and get it fixed and get me my car today, because it's due today, because I paid, I think it was like $15,000. She's like, well, I'll try. That's not really my job. I said, that's not my problem. You got to figure this out, because at the end of the day, I need the car, because I was trying to get up where I'm at, and other stuff would happen later. So short story, they couldn't figure it out. They couldn't get Joe the tech or whatever. So I was like, give me my money back. I'd escalate it to the state. I got my money back. And then I bought what I kept as the green car from a different guy. And that was a whole different fiasco. Point is, I'm ready to go now, but I couldn't get the car registered for nothing. I'm finally getting stuff sorted out, and then I learned my brother's ill, and then later he had died very quickly. So I didn't get a chance, and I was going to be driving en route. I was going to be headed that direction, and I just couldn't make it. Then I caught shingles. For those that haven't caught shingles, it's the worst feeling. It's the worst feeling. And maybe at some point on Casual, I'll talk about how you can recognize that you probably have it going on. Yeah, it mostly hits you when you're older, because I'm dirt old. People don't believe that. But I got shingles, so I had to recover from that. And I was still working on the JOB the whole time. And then I had to, accumulate more money, because I had some expenses. I had to accumulate more money and stack it. And then I was trying to get all affairs wrapped up and do it right. That's when Mr. Rat showed up, and that's what convinced me, okay, let me just get the heck out of here. And I didn't spend a lot of money, but I did spend a fair amount to get out of here and get to the hotels and all that. So I get to this place, and I got the car registered here, licensed and all that. Well, I was up for renewal. My car's a plug-in electric. They forced me to do a freaking emissions. So I can't do it because the kiosk wouldn't register it. And the guy's like, yeah, drive for 80 miles, you'll be fine. They can't do 80 miles because there's not enough. Okay, so then they have this process where they straight tell you, send us the payment, send us the form in the mail, no online, in the mail, send us the form of payment, and we'll send you a registration. So I'm thinking, well, why the F do you need to do the emissions test if you don't really need to do the emissions test? Why can't you just waive it online? So they just sent me the stickers. Now, of course, my garage is surrounded by snow, so I can't put it on. That's my world. Anyway, let's talk about some cryptocurrency, folks. I gotta get off my mind. Coindesk.com, and we are going to zoom out to the month chart, and we're going to start with Bitcoin because something came to attention that I thought was worth talking about, and I'm excited. You might wonder why, but I'm excited. I'll tell you why I'm excited. Currently, Bitcoin is just shy of $96,000, still doing somewhat of a downward pressure. Over the past 24 hours, a high of just shy of 96.8, a low of 94. That's why I'm excited, because it rebounded very nicely. It bounced off from, it was going to go down and people thought it was going in the 80s, myself included. Bounced off of it very nice and came right back up. However, everybody noticed that the long-term trend is still downward. When you zoom out to the month chart, that's what you see. You see that it's still trying to head down and that we're not past the worst of it. Some of this was not, you can think about tariffs, but some of this was not tariffs. Some of this is just straight up panic in the business. People freaking out and not really confident in the industry. And I said that using Ethereum as the marker, despite the idiot Vitalik the rug puller, using Ethereum's price movement would give us a better indication of things to come. Ethereum, of course, had a high of just shy of 2,800, a low of 2,600, currently hovering around the 2,700 mark. So Ethereum had a better time of it, but Ethereum's nowhere close to where it's supposed to be. Its trend is not downward, but it's nowhere close to where it's supposed to be. A lot of different events came out of the Ethereum Foundation, but there was a lot of criticism, as I covered on YouTube. And I think I did an out of cycle episode on the podcast as well, around idiot Vitalik and the Rugpulls and everything that he's doing, and everybody pissed off at him. So I think that's playing some of it. It seemed like there's a lot of sell pressure on Ethereum. And until we saw Ethereum go up, it seemed like there was Bitcoin was still going to be at risk. There's another update I've got at the tail end around Ethereum where it may indicate good things to come for Ethereum. I don't know for sure, but I can't think of why else that would be the case. There was a lot of drama that took place, though, this weekend. I'm going to talk about that drama because I do think it's important to keep people safe. My mission is to try to keep people safe. And I don't talk about garbage. I try to do coverage on things that I think are worth paying attention to. I did an out of cycle, and I was one of the first to talk about it, which is weird, but the president of Argentina on Twitter had announced a token that he was shilling it. He deleted the tweet. So that caused him to get a lot of flack. They were putting him up for impeachment. He's in major trouble because he tweeted about this, because what happened with that token, its market cap skyrocketed to $4 billion and then crapped all the way down to like $600 million. Apparently, CoffeeZilla had done some digging along with Bubble Maps, and they determined this guy Hayden somehow is involved with this Libra as well as with the Melania token, the official Melania token, the one that crapped. I think it got as high as 12 and then crapped down to $1.50 and never recovered. And so allegedly this Hayden person was associated with both projects, and allegedly this Hayden person was implying that they were both sniped and that he was responsible for the snipes on both projects, but he claimed he was not responsible for the massive snipe, but he was participating in snipes. It's a whole weird, it's a shit show, right? And I did on my coverage, I didn't see that there was a direct rug pull like by the president himself, but as with Trump, the NFT, you got to ask yourself about the people doing the projects and what they're holding and what are the insiders holding and what's going on in the business. And this one with the Libra was one of the worst I think I've ever seen, because it happened quick. It was like in one day. Billions and billions of dollars just crapped out of the project. So I had covered it after it crapped because I figured, okay, everybody's safe now. There's no further risk. The FOMO's gone. I can go ahead and talk about this without worrying about people aping into it, because I didn't want people to get into it and get completely wrecked on that business. Just like with Trump, I waited until it was on the way down and then talked about it because I didn't want people to get wrecked on it. See, hopefully you're seeing a pattern. I want to try to keep people safe. I don't want people to get smashed. I don't want people to get jacked up. I want people to be kept safe. That's what I feel is the right answer in this. I don't like to see people get completely, they lose so much money, then they're, suicidal or something, right? I didn't want that to happen to people out there. And so that's why I actively do not go after garbage. And I know a lot of these are garbage because I can tell from, the lack of fundamentals or crap tokenomics or, all that stuff. I can predict it pretty well now. I'm very good at it. As a result, I'm a very conservative trader. So some people are, they don't want to hear that. They want to find the next, roll the dice opportunity, and that's cool. I've moved on from that mantra and rather would try to keep people safe if I best can. Some people considered Bitcoin as a next level gambling because its price keeps shifting up and down, and then it jumped all the way into the 90s. And people speculated we're kind of past the era where Bitcoin could be considered gambling by definition. However, Bitcoin recently slumping beneath $94,000 didn't seem to stop filings for ETFs. Filings for ETFs, of course, is pushing or trying to push Bitcoin's price higher than it ever has been. Targets were $250,000 and $500,000 and $1 million per Bitcoin. They're all across the board in terms of where people think the price of Bitcoin is going to go. Unfortunately, this contradicts the current price that you see, thus the theory that Bitcoin is returning to a gambling situation rather than a stable asset or one that can lend itself to long-term wealth. Everybody knows Bitcoin can lend itself to long-term wealth. What people don't realize or believe or understand is what are these factors that are influencing Bitcoin's price to the negative that continue to happen. And the truth is, big players are largely taken over. They're hoarding massive amounts of the supply. They're going to sell, and when they try to sell, they're going to be asking major amounts of money because they hold major amounts. That's going to push the price up just because they're greedy MFers, right? And so if you wanted to get in, it's going to be harder to get as much as you could have. You can always buy it, but you just won't be able to get as much for that money. The thought is it can be akin to gold, where it simply has a significantly high value. You can always hold it, but has a significantly high value to make it where it can offset the depreciation inherent with the fiat system. I don't agree that that ever will be the case in our lifespans, but that's the theory and that's the thought process. The other bit of news, and this is the last bit of news before I get into the other hilarious. SafeMoon's back in the news again, folks. Allegedly, that's what I was told. Allegedly, SafeMoon is planning on launching a meme on the Solana chain, and allegedly this is going to happen sometime in the near future, very near future. When I say very near future, I mean near future, as in possibly, if not today, then tomorrow, sometime in the very near future that this is what's going to happen. They have allegedly burned the vast majority of the SafeMoon supply. So this is the SafeMoon V2, I believe it is, supply. And if you remember, SafeMoon had done the fork after, it had crapped out, and then it did a fork, and then everybody was trying to get it back up and recovered. The burn was going to happen across all the chains because SafeMoon had Binance. I think it started on Binance, and then it went to Polygon and Ethereum. Allegedly, they're burning across the entire spectrum. So as it stands right now, the SafeMoon team so this is that Coroni jackoff that ripped you off. The SafeMoon that was allegedly no longer exists anymore. Allegedly, there's supposed to be this new meme that's coming out of somewhere in order to, I don't know what they're going to do. They're going to do something. I don't know what it is. But the assets, the SafeMoon assets for the V2 allegedly were being burned off in order to kind of salvage what was out there. Now, I don't know what that means. I know that X has been, cutting off their verifieds and all this other stuff. And I don't know what it all means. I saw a bunch of people buying into SafeMoon V2 after this happened because the supply went, apparently it's like in the trillions, and then went down to 360 billion. As it stands right now, it's 360 billion in circulating supply, which then caused a little bit of a run up. So I don't know what's happening, why people are buying back into it. I don't have that answer because clearly other people would have a stash of tokens they could dump on you. But if they choose to do that, that's what they choose to do. I'm saying that whatever the meme is that they're talking about allegedly is going to be launched separately. It's going to be a separate token for under the SafeMoon umbrella with a separate meme. That's all I know at this point because they don't have very much information publicly put out there. The SEC still has their eyes on what's going on with it. And so time will tell what that all looks like. I had seen something on the Bleav channel, and I looked deeper in it, and I know I really try not to take victory laps. It might seem like that's not the case and I'm not. I swear, I'm not. It's just, I don't know how many times I've got to be proven right before you come back and give me my credit, because it's like, dude, this is easy work. This is easy work. It's not hard. Okay? It's easy freaking work. Here's what happened. If you were in or considered being in or thought about being in what Bleez was shilling as monkey shit in you, I said, it's not something I'm going to do, and I'm not going to be talking about it. This is by Pablo Cro. Apparently I think it got hacked. I believe that's what it was. And it was, as far as I knew, it was on the Ethereum chain. And then it was relaunched as Monkey Soul Emu. So same MSI on the Solana chain. And Bleez was doing a crap ton of shill on that dude. And I saw a commenter on his channel, and he said something to the effect of, you only talk about tokens that are built by 5-year-olds, which I thought was hilarious. And I said that a lot of these developers of projects, they know that Bleez he lost his job. They know that, and they know that he was desperate for money. And I believe they exploit him because desperation, I got to pay the bills, right? So Bleez has told the story multiple times about how certain people helped him out with money when he needed it. Now, I was willing to offer him literally a 1099 job. You own your own business. You're essentially your own boss, but if you choose to work for me and provide content for me, I'll pay you. And we'll agree upon a rate, and then I'll pay you per content that you provide. But you're 1099. You run it still yourself, and then you can contract with other people and use my platform for referenceability. So I was working to try to offer that, work for some money. I wasn't going to give anybody straight up money because, with the exception of my friend's sister and or possibly my first girlfriend and or possibly a couple of other girls I can think of, I don't just give money. My second girlfriend can attest to this. So I'm willing to have people work for the money. I'm happy to do that, try to help somebody out and, learn a trade or get better at a skill, whatever that is. He didn't take the offer. He didn't even reach out. That's fine. It's his business. But he told a story about how allegedly Pablo Cro helped him by giving him money. Now, given what happened with this MSI, which apparently is what I saw across, because Bleez talked about in a recent upload, apparently Pablo quit the business on the MSI, as in rug pull. And I want to repeat my definition of a rug pull for those that don't seem to remember. A rug pull is when you make money available, you make money available and then you make it not available. That's a rug pull by core definition. When MSI went from Shit Emu to Soul Emu, essentially that's a minor rug pull. He spun up the other project. Allegedly, he made a little bit of it right, but it's still a rug pull by many definitions. Then this, going back to apparently this news on Ethereum, he's going to relaunch it over here, and he relaunches this business and it's meme something or other, and it's some total different project. He did it at 12 a.m. because there's timestamps on X. So he did it at a time that most of the people in the United States are asleep, which I think was intentional. I don't think that was accidental. I think he did it on purpose so that he wouldn't get caught out on it and didn't give enough time for people to get out. Bleez told the story about how he was compensated $2,000 in MSI tokens that was then worth $50. I would posit, and by the way, to his credit, Bleez says he's not going to join this new crap, but I would posit what I said. These devs, and Pablo Cro in particular, were using him, and when they pay, it's like a bribe. They're bribing him and tricking him into thinking that they're on his side when they're not. I believe the same is the case with Pablo Cro. I believe the same was the case with Jake. I believe the same was the case with Rodney. I believe the same was the case with Awesome Austin. I believe the same was the case with Scott Herman. I believe the same is the case with Ben Armstrong. I believe the same is the case with Cassie. I think they're all using him. That's what I believe, because there's too much of a pattern. I said on another episode, look at the track record of all these projects that go after him for promotion that have crapped. And there's been quite a few of them. There's been a lot of them where they've gone after him to do some kind of promotional and then they crap. Literally, I'm talking in the worst way. We're not talking failure. We're talking they just rug pull. They straight rug pull the stuff. It's happened over and over again. How can that be? If you look at the pattern, obviously you got like Adam Captain and some of these other ones that they do that crap, but it seems like with Bleez, it's just a persistent pattern. And again, I speculate when they say, yeah, I'll give you some money to keep you going. I think they're using him. I think they're bribing him and he's falling for it. So I don't have sympathy because for whatever reason, he refuses to just call it what it has to be, what it clearly has to be now. Like, you cannot have so many frequent situations of the same thing happening and just be, it can't be circumstance. There's got to be something there. And I wish he would call it out for what it is, which is these people are using you. They're using you for your niceness and they're exploiting you and your platform to trap your people into those tokens. And those people are losing a lot of money. Same thing I felt about Volt. I simply said, community's your best, and got attacked for that one. And what happens? Pablo Cro was over that one, and then he dumped off that one. I mean, at what point do you recognize these people don't care about you? They're not your friends. They might act like it, but just because somebody gives you money doesn't mean they're your friend. So the public service announcement to this business is if you were one that was in that monkey soul emu garbage, Pablo Cro has rug pulled the project by his own admission. It's on X. You can go check it out. Bleez covered it on his update where it basically said, I'm tired of this. I'm going to go on to this meme, whatever the heck project. But it's essentially a rug pull because he straight said, I'm just going to yank all the stuff out of it. And he accused people in the community of being jeets, whatever that is. And so he was allegedly pissed off. I don't think he really was. I think he just wanted a rug pull. And it's basically a Ponzi scheme at this point because we take money from Project A to spit up Project B. That's a Ponzi scheme. That's what he's doing. And unfortunately, Bleez was complicit in the Ponzi because he had already done it before. He had just done that with Volt. He took some of that money back and ran over to the monkey shit emu. That's essentially a Ponzi scheme, and then takes that to the next monkey shit or monkey soul, and that's a Ponzi scheme, and then goes to this other dude. It's a Ponzi. Like, it's literally Ponzi after Ponzi after Ponzi. It cannot just be failure. You cannot keep calling it failure. I'm sorry. Same with Bencoin. I'm sorry. You cannot keep calling it failure because think about it. The same people are all doing the same thing for the same reason. Rodney and his daddy token, like it's endless at this point. It just keeps going on. When do you acknowledge clearly these are all just very professional scammers that have a pattern, and you look for the pattern and recognize that that's what they do. So that's where we're at with that business. I thought I would close out the episode by reading some of the hilarious tweets from this chaos that happened with the monkey shit emu, and maybe it'll try to help some people. So I'll quote exactly first what Pablo said by way of the MSI account. I'm not going to read the whole tweet because you get the gist of it. From MSI_token, quote, after most of my community cheated on me, today I made a serious decision to put my entire focus on meme linked, which is the other garbage token that he created on Ethereum, and MSI will be no more. Out of respect to those few still holding a bag, I want to let you know that in 24 hours, I'll be selling all my tokens to utilize it on meme linked. So when he says 24 hours, he had sent this at 12 a.m. 12 a.m. So crack of dawn when nobody's watching this stuff. And most of the people are not following social media, so they wouldn't know in any case. So he knew what he was doing is the point. User Cryptic at OK Let's Do This 007 says, quote, another rug, LMFAO. Jeez. User Sparky Bags, who apparently was a fan of Bleez's Elon Muskrat, which is a rug pull, said, quote, how do we know Pablo Cro won't give up on meme linked? MSI was supposed to be his baby. Can't believe I support and fell for this scam. Out of respect, my ass. User Dylan Gushy says, quote, I regret supporting Pablo. Must be insiders left for meme linked because no way he got his very few holders following him after this. User Crypto Cole, as in Rainbow Tuxedo, says, quote, God damn it, what the fuck is Pablo doing? Pablo lost all his credibility after this. User Jamie Kerr says, quote, so tell me why I should invest in Meme Link after the last MSI got screwed on, now this one. I always anticipate to lose money, but why keep losing good money after bad? User Chivo Rialzador says, quote, ha 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 ha, happy for those who makes tons of money. What the fuck? People, this is an advise, spelled wrong. Never ever follow this guy. He is not serious at all, does not care about his community. Arrogante. Y con un ego que le sabe a la mierda. El resto de las personas. Nada le sale bien. Listen, I feel like a lone voice in the wind. I feel like I'm off in the corner. I know there's gamblers out there rolling the dice. I got it, but the hero worship is so bizarre to me. Why do you believe what somebody's telling you? Why do you believe this guy has your best interest in heart? Everybody in the space is greedy. They're greedy as F, right? Even Jeremy, as rich as he is still greedy. He wants to make more money. So he's trapping you into stuff. I'm not suggesting he's specifically scamming you. I'm saying that he's greedy. They're all greedy. They're all trying to fill a bag. And so I'm not telling you what to do or not. I'm saying I don't understand why people keep falling for the same traps. Seems like it's a pervasive something over and over again and never seems to end. And remember, Pablo Cro was the one that was accused of betraying the Mexican followers. So that's another piece. It's like, if that's true, and I don't know that it is, but if that's true, it's like, geez, at what point do you realize? And fortunately, the monkey shit in you never went anywhere. Fortunately, I think people looked at the name, and realized this is garbage, because I don't even think it got 1,000 holders. So I think, the era where we're trapping tens of thousands of dollars is long gone. So that's a good thing. I wish A, those people were not in the space, but B, when Bleez says, well, I think Paulo's good for the space and I trust Paulo to pump a token. Well, if you trust him to pump a token, and he even said, hey, I feel bad because when I get these tokens, it's basically an incentive for me to dump on the project. Well, think about it here, dude. If they're giving it to you and you know why they're giving it to you, then why are you accepting it? Why don't you put your foot down and say, no, you need to pay me in stablecoin so that I don't damage the project? Because why not? I mean, they should be paying you in something that's not going to damage the project. When I was doing or trying to do Libero, and I said, look, I don't care if you stake these in the bank, right? Because I want the project to succeed. When they're staked in the bank, you can't dump them. So that's what I wanted. Now the team were stupid, but the point is I didn't want money from them at all. I'm trying to help the project because I saw that there was opportunity if you market the damn thing right. So if it's staked, that's one thing, but why would you accept it if you know that it's the token and you know that the only way you can really use this is to dump on it? See, think about it. They're doing that on purpose because they know you're too ethical to sell and dump on the project. They know, okay, he's a sucker. He's a mark. We can trick him and make him feel bad. So we'll give him these tokens and he'll sit on them. Apparently he dumped on the bin ones. So I don't know what was different about dumping on the bin ones where he wouldn't want to dump on monkey shit other than the low amount of holders. Well, again, if it's got low amount of holders, why would you accept tokens where all you can do is dump on the project, especially if you need the money? Why not demand stable? It just doesn't make any sense to me personally. So I'm questioning everybody out there that followed it. I'm sorry if you got wrecked on it. It is what it is, and hopefully you take it as a learning lesson. But I question what it is. What's the appeal? Why? He's just a man. It doesn't matter that he's rich, and who cares that he can pump a token? If he's going to abandon you, which he'd already done before, he already has a pattern of doing it, why do you keep following? Same question I had about Ben. Why do you keep following people that continually dump on your head? I don't know. Same thing with Idiot Vidlik. All of these, the hero worship is just bizarre to me. Like the guy was talking about on Leica. It just doesn't make sense. It never will make sense. And if you're listening to me, you're going to hear me constantly ask the question. You can hit me at cryptotalk.fm and tell me if there's something I'm missing about why there's so much damn hero worship in the crypto space where people are getting wrecked left, right, and up to Sunday. But I'm never going to support it. You're never going to hear me support it because I think you should be smarter than that, in my personal opinion. Other than that, have a great day. Enjoy crypto best you can. It's a tough time. It'll get better.